Perhaps we could have a conversation about you being who you are. Sounds rather strange, doesn't it? What what is more simple than just being who you are, just living as you live? However, there is a deeper possibility that lives with being who you are. And that is truthful self observation. The ability to observe yourself in action as it relates to your thought about yourself. Are you are you saying, are you like a Christian who talks about peace on earth, prays for, hopes for peace on earth, and owns a gun? If so, what would your truthful self-observation tell you? Your thought and your actions are not fused. You have a belief only. You don't have the action of the belief. When you have the action of the belief, then the action itself is true. So this, like all of the conversations we've had together, requires truth, requires that you speak the truth. And since your earliest days, you have been trained, you have been conditioned, you have been made into a lie machine. Lie, 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 lie. You have small white lies, you have a little bit bigger lies, and then you move into the domain of explanation, justification, excuse, which makes your lying not a lie to you. So, is it possible for you to see who it is that you are and who it is that you think you are, and then have a distinction, an assessment that asks yourself, are you the person that you project yourself to be, or are you simply a projection? My suggestion is this: you are a projection. You are projecting the type of person that you think you are. By the way, that's the reason for all the divorces and why the relationships that you have break up, and you have 5, 10, 4, 6, 8, who knows how many girlfriends, and then who knows how many wives. And one of my friends back in North Carolina had 6 wives. And he said his 6th wife was the best thing he'd ever found. Now you know why he had 5 wives before. But she felt like a thing, so she accepted being a thing. So is it possible for you to be who you are and observe you being who you are? If your thinking, and your actions do not match, then you are, in today's world, fake news. You are a fake. if you tell white lies, like there's a Santa Claus and there's a tooth fairy and snakes can talk and virgins can have babies and those sorts of things, then you know you're a liar. However, here we come. We have the excuse, we have the justification, we have the explanation. We have to make sure our kids are happy. And how else are we going to get them to do what we want them to do unless we can threaten them with Santa not bringing them something? So we can't lie and then say we're not a liar and not be a liar. Because if you tell your children there's a Santa Claus and a tooth fairy and a God up there who's going to save them, then your thoughts and your actions are not fused. You're not a human. You're not complete. You're not moving together with reality. You are inventing your own reality. And if you invent your own reality, what you're going to... Oops, what's that? Oh, I think I don't know what that is. Anyway, if you invent your own reality, then you live in a dream world, a bubble. And you'll probably end up with a president that grabs women between the legs and does whatever he wants to do with them and lies 20 or 30,000 times over 4 years. Wait a minute, that's already happened, hasn't it? So, is it possible, then, for you to stop? For you to actually observe your own actions and make a distinction are your actions and your thoughts fused? Are they the same? Do you say you care to bring forth peace on earth and you don't own a gun? You don't get mad at people. You don't get angry. You don't get jealous. You're not greedy. You're not after all the money you can get. You see? I wonder. You can't have them both. In the real world of creation and intelligence and truth, there can be no gun. There can be no jealousy. There can't be raping women. There can't be killing and bombing and throwing children into cages. In the 30s, they threw them in cages and then they burned them in ovens. At least when Trump threw them into cages, sooner or later the pressure got them back out. Those things do not happen would not happen if we had a world of creation, intelligence, and truth. However, this planet lives in a world of knowledge, of thought, of belief, the mirror image of reality. Knowledge, thought, and belief is the mirror image of reality, which is creation. You see? Creation has a mirror image called knowledge. Intelligence has one called belief. And truth has one called belief as well. They're both intermixed there. So, can you be in your life the exact person that you are and observe it? Can you catch yourself getting angry with your children, with your husband, with your wife, with your spouse, with whatever the yours are. Even if you have a your, you own them. Don't you see? If they're your wife, then you own them. However, in language, we use certain words that I'm having a technical difficulty here. I don't know what it is. I'll have to figure it out. So this conversation is difficult to have because it's a conversation with people who've their whole life have been trained to lie, have been trained to steal and cheat, have been trained to knock the other person down so you can get up, been trained to beat that team no matter what, been trained to, no matter what you have to do, win. Win at all costs. When Donald Trump was asked after his success, they said, what do you have to say about the dirty way you ran your campaign, calling people childish names and all the dirty things that you did to win? He used two words in his answer. And this is really the dynamic that we live in today. He said, I won. You see, that cleared everything. There's no such thing as means justifying the end or the end justifying the means for him. There's only win. So is it possible then to be who you are and observe the liar that you are, the cheat that you are, the thief that you are? You say, for instance, that you love your child, you love your children. But you prepare your child for the world. You don't prepare the world for your child. Somebody came in, I can't see who it is. Oh, hello, Cherry. So, it has to be obvious that you do not love your child. You don't even love yourself. Because if you did, then you would prepare a world for you and your child. You wouldn't be telling them not to talk to strangers, and you wouldn't be buying them guns and teaching them kung fu and all the things to protect themselves, because you would create a world where there was no need for that. No guns, no bullets, no violence. That is possible, and I'm presenting the possibility for the transformation of you, of your life, and of the lives in your own family, your members, your family, your friends, your circle, then your city, your state, then your country, and then the world. Critical mass happens when there is enough energy supplied to move across a chasm a bit. There's a big, I have to say, there's a big hole in between creation, intelligence, and truth, and then there's this big chasm. It's a bottomless pit. And over here is knowledge, thought, and belief. So we each must die to knowledge, thought, and belief as the director of our lives in order to live from creation, live from intelligence, live from truth. That is the space from which we do love our child, we do love ourself, we do love the spouse. I changed it to thee, didn't I? It's difficult. Some parts of this is difficult because there's no language for it. There really is no language for being free, for a transformed human being to have conversation, because we have to use old antiquated language from thousands of years ago. And it has massive amounts of reasons and explanations and excuses, and even many, many different definitions for the same word. So the invitation that is sent to you is this: see if you can be who you are and observe your being who you are. If you have anger arise, you know you're a robot. If you have jealousy, if you have any of the feelings are things that you inserted into yourself. You invented your feelings of anger, jealousy, hurt. Nobody can hurt you. So if you can be hurt, if you can be made angry, if you can be jealous, if you can be upset, then the observation you need to make about who you are is you are a robot. You are robotically being controlled with your permission. And there's really no other thing you need to do. Actually, there's no other thing you need to do except discover that you made yourself a robot. A robotic human being who can be set off by language. Somebody can call you a nigger or a whore or a Jew or whatever those nonsensical things are. And you are ready to, you're not an American and they're ready to shoot you. All that nonsense. All right. I have rambled on for 17 minutes and I'm breaking the psychological law here about, what do they call that? How long somebody can pay attention. The perfect experience of being who you are. I've got to figure out what that is. This device not recognized. It says, being who you are and observing it truthfully, speaking the truth of who you are. Good night.